There's an echo.
Okay. Morning, morning. All right. What's up?
Yeah, that was
Hello.
I don't know why.
Morning, morning.
Good morning. Oh, I probably need to turn down my volume. How is everyone this morning? Hello. Hi.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Morning, Heather.
Welcome to Awakenings Within.
Morning edition.
We have not been practicing that, apparently.
We're a little goofy today. I slept really good.
We are.
Sandy didn't sleep good. So we're a little goofy.
We're goofy.
How
are you guys?
I think the story about Hank would be fun.
Hank. We'll talk about Hank. So, good morning. Let me say hi.
Morning,
Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Bill. It looks like maybe Megan is on. Well, I think she goes by Tiffany now. Tiffany is on. Hi. Good morning. She was an Irish dance student. She danced at my wedding.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool?
Very cool.
So, good morning, Heather, though. Nice to see you. How is everyone? How's it going? How's your week? Good morning, Kim.
Yeah, we are cruising along April 29th. We're cruising here. We're almost done with the month.
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. So, what, April 29th? Whenever April ends, of course, I always think, oh, yep, I'm almost another year older. Oh, God.
You're going to be the birthday girl.
Well, we can forget it.
Nope.
How about we just forget it?
No.
Just forget it.
We're going to party.
Oh, we are, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Sounds
I
good
don't
to
know.
me.
I don't know how I'm going to party.
Heather? Should we party in our...
There's nowhere to party at.
Our social distancing party.
A social distancing party. Sorry. Hi, good morning. So, tell me about your week. How's it going? It's Wednesday.
Any new fun things, new celebrations, new good things going on this week?
It's hump day.
Hump day.
I don't understand. Yeah. They use that camo thing way too long. It's just way too long.
That was Geico, I think, right? Was it Geico commercial? That was funny.
I think so.
Kim's partying like it's 1999.
Party like it's 1999. It kind of feels like that, right? End of the world. Party like it's 1999. Might be my last end of the world.
End of the world as we know it.
Do you know what was cool this morning? I did see one thing. I love Julie Andrews. So she was on the Today Show this morning.
Oh my gosh,
she
must be 100 by now. How old is she?
No, oh my gosh, she looks so wonderful.
I bet she looks great.
Yeah. Yes, she does. And she was talking about how it reminded her of World War II in England when she lived there, how everything happened. So it's hard to, been pretty uneventful, hard to top last week, because it was Heather's birthday. We've celebrated. Whoop. Whoop, whoop.
We did it awesome style, right? We did the drive-by. We hung out social distance in the front yard. Yes, it was very cool.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Larry.
And I can't wait, Heather, to have a hot dog on that grill of yours. That looks amazing. That thing is that thing is a party grill if I've ever seen one. This huge grill.
She's got a party house already.
Yeah.
She's got a party house. Maybe one day we can have a party.
Mugs up. Let's do it.
Mugs up.
You got your turtle mug.
Mugs up in.
I got my
Larry's so nice. He always calls us rock stars. Thank you, Larry.
You're a rock star too, Larry.
Yep, you are a rock star, Larry. I am so not a rock star.
You're just a star.
No. I can't sing. I have been trying to sing, though, lately. I have.
In the shower?
Oh, I learned the coolest trick about singing the other day.
A trick?
Trick.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
To make your voice go higher while you're singing, you just put your hand down like that. Because it tricks your brain into going higher. Ha!
So it's a little opposite. You're
putting
your hand down.
It is, but your brain needs that because it will tighten up the vocal cords when you think you're going, like this. If you put your hand like that and go in the opposite direction, it makes your voice go higher.
That's interesting. I wonder if you put your hand up,
about that.
Does it make your voice go lower? If you put your hand up?
Well, I think you should try that. I don't know. Hi, good morning, Mark. Good morning, Denise. Good morning, our peeps. It's good to see you.
It is. It is.
I miss you. I miss you. I need to see my grandbaby, though. I need to go to Virginia.
Yeah.
I'm missing a grandbaby.
So cute.
Yeah, but until this is all over, well, it's not going to be all over, but until we get our phases in line, it will be a minute. So you were told not to quit your day job, huh, Larry? Good morning, Kim. Nice of you to join us. Welcome. This is our Awakenings Within page, and we talk about current events. We talk about your feelings.
whoa, feelings.
Feelings.
We
talk about your feelings. We talk about how you're feeling through all this. I mean, really, that's primarily why we started this, is to check in. So, how's the check-in going? How is the check-in going?
Checking in.
You know,
within.
The check-in.
Check-in within.
Yeah. So, okay. So, share something fun. You told me you were sharing something fun. I want to know.
Oh, okay.
I'm impatient.
All right, ready?
Yeah. Good morning, Brad and Wanda and Billy. Thanks for joining us. It's funny.
Oh, there's the meme of the day. Oh, and we're in the corner here. So
nice.
Cool. No one can see into your heart, which is why you sometimes have to show them how you feel.
Oh.
Did you not set me up perfectly for that one?
Ooh, that's feelings? Good. I did, actually, didn't I?
Yeah.
I did. So, I like that. So, why can it be hard for people to show how they feel? I mean, what can be some stopping blocks, do you think? You know?
I got lots.
I have them.
Have what?
Stopping blocks.
Oh, I thought you said you have feelings. Well, that's good to know.
Oh, did I accidentally say that?
You did.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean that. But I do have Elvis.
Elvis. Still has rock.
But I do have Elvis.
Okay, well.
He's kind of a feeling.
All right, let's not go there. All right.
What?
So, you opened up a door there about feelings.
I did.
And Heather said fear, which is absolutely right. Ding, ding, ding. It's always fear. It's always fear. Why people don't let their feelings out, or sometimes don't let their feelings even arise. And that's where we get into trouble. And putting my life coaching hat on, for sure, when we stuff our feelings down, they will come back and they will be stronger and bigger. And so the trick is, and it's not easy, right, is to allow yourself to feel the fear and understand it. What are you afraid of? And really understand it, but don't stay there too long. And that's the trick, is to not push it away, try to understand what it's trying to tell you. And in the hero's journey, the hero must always fight through the fear to get into the journey and take their journey so they can find the treasure.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Is feeling that. Now feel the fear, but let it go because try to get yourself out of that. However, I think that some of us put a stop on our feelings. Maybe as a form of control. Something to ponder.
Ponder. How do you do that? So how are you? I mean, I suppose.
You can allow or disallow feelings. So
you have the control.
You can allow or disallow fear. So really, somebody can try to control those things for a little while. Just a little while. Because once they don't deal with them, then it comes up. And so, good morning, everyone that's joining, and have a great day, Kim. Kim, not Kim Baker, the other Kim.
Michael says, "Good morning. Is Scott first and go? First and go."
Is first. Why is he first, Mike?
You mean like
those are some fighting words.
The Scott and Sandy show?
Michael.
Scott and Sandy show. I like that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, Jeff, you're late. What's up?
Oh.
Is Scott first on the screen because he's most important? Oh,
yeah, I'm not even going there.
Michael is trying to stir
the pot here
I see.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a...
Uh-huh.
I see, Michael. I got your number there, bud.
Typo, yeah.
And I thought he was my friend.
He's your
Forget
friend.
that. I see the men. It's the men code.
He kids because he loves you. That's how it is.
Yeah. Mike, yeah. It's the men's code.
There's Glenda.
Hey, good morning, Tammy. Good morning, Glenda. Sister. Oh, hi, soul sister. Glenda lives in Tennessee. She lives in Gatlinburg.
Ooh, that's cool.
Well, actually somewhere like that. Uh-huh. Yeah, Michael. The Sandy and Scott show, LOL. Well, it kind of is.
Well, Larry picks you first. It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, that's right. That's because my name is S.A. Yours is S.C.
I know.
It's alphabetical. That's it.
That's it.
And then if our names were different and yours, yeah, I would pick the last name to be first then.
I'm confused.
What? You're speechless.
I'm
confused.
My. Yeah.
Why are you speechless?
I just am. Cat's got my tongue.
Exactly. See, Heather's got it. So
Heather says Larry knows.
Good morning. We were getting deep there for a minute, and then we jumped off the cliff. We jumped off the cliff.
Yeah.
But we were being for real though about the feelings and the fear.
Well, I think I'm going to go back to the control thing a little bit. That's interesting because when we're fearful, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to anybody. And what you want the first thing you want to do is to feel a sense of control because fear is a little bit out of control. And so the first way that we can gain some control is to push it away and to grab onto something that makes us feel good. The first little thing. So I know that like when I'm fearful, especially in my business, and I'm kind of swirling around thinking, this isn't working. I don't know what to do. What am I going to do? This month, next month. The first little thought that I can grab onto that is, I'll do this. I'll do this A thing or I'll do this B thing. And that makes me feel better because I feel like, I have control now a little bit of my situation. Or it feels like it. I don't really have control, but it feels like it. And so that's what we do when we push away fear is that we want control. That's what I try to tell people is that take a breath when you're grabbing for that first thing that's going to make you feel better and push that fear away. Because it does feel a lot better to push it away in the short term. But in the long term, it's probably not going to be the best thing for you. So what is the fear trying to teach you? Sit with it for a little bit. And it's hard. It's so hard to do. It's so much easier to say than do. Is to sit with fear.
Yeah, right.
Sitting with fear is hard.
Yeah. I mean, like what Mark says, perfect love casts out fear. And of course, I like what you say, that ladies are first. Anyway, I like both of those things. So perfect love casts out fear. I think sometimes, like for me, I have another source to go to because sometimes I don't trust my own self and source, right? So having another source to go to helps with the fear, helps to to kind of, lean into something or someone, or for guidance, I guess you'd say. So when you're fearful, as long if you have that source, you can kind of lean into that and look at, some principles that you've learned with that. Or I think counseling helps with those types of things, with fear. If it's an anxiety position, you need to go talk to somebody. Somebody told me yesterday they were so courageous, very courageous, that they finally opened up about it, and they're starting to talk about their issues and how freeing that was. And that actually was already helping them just by opening up the door to that. And
it does take courage. Courage is a great word, because it does take courage to face the fear. And I think it's great to have the source, a higher power source or a higher source, as long as you don't use that instantly and as a crutch, which some people do. And if you still have to feel the fear, and if you're just immediately saying, I'm going to give it to God, or I'm going to give it, to whatever, without thinking it through and feeling the fear, I don't think you learn the lesson. And I think too often, sometimes people are so quick to just use that higher power that they are not going to learn the lesson.
Well, I might agree a little bit about that, but sometimes if I'm giving it away, sometimes depends on what it's about. I think if I'm fearful in a moment, a situation, and I pray about it, that fear does go away because I've prayed about it and kind of, it settled me. So it just depends on the situation. I think being fearful, yes, to feel it, but sometimes that fear, I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago, that when you're feeling those things, it's kind of an intuition about something, right? So you need to know that sometimes the fear is good into warning you that something's about to happen. Well, so fear, I agree with you about that.
I would say absolutely. That fear is actually good most of the time. It doesn't feel good, but it's actually a good thing. It clearly protects us. The intuition about fear is serious, and that's kind of exactly what I'm talking about, is to pause with it, check in, find out what is that fear trying to tell you, what's that intuition saying. Mm-hmm. If you instantly push it out or do whatever you can do to numb it or whatever, you won't learn the lesson. And then Kim says that sometimes the sources to help ease your fears can be bad. Well, I would say that especially if you're and a lot of us numb them with alcohol and different numbing events. And that's can be a bad source. It can be you're not going to learn the lesson for sure. Fear is fascinating. It's actually probably the number one issue for personal development, self-help. We all have it, and yet we all have to deal with it, and it's probably one of the hardest things that humans have to deal with, I think.
Yeah. Fear brings up your coping mechanisms immediately. Like it's your go-to. As soon as you have the fear, then that coping mechanism that you have. One time, I'll tell a story. My son, so funny. It wasn't funny, but there was a guy building a fence for me, and in the backyard, and he had the saw, just the little circular saw. Backyard. Matthew goes outside. He's walking around the backyard. Somehow he backs up. He trips over the saw. The saw flips like this and cuts his whole side of his leg open. I know. It was the flukiest, weirdest thing. And I was inside. And so my ex is out there with them and flips out, freaks out. He's like, oh my God. And Matthew's, leg is like, open. And he comes in, and my other son was in there, and I'm like, okay, Christopher, get the first aid kit, get this, get that, and I'm like, bring it here. I pulled his leg and shut it and then taped it up. It didn't bleed. It was the weirdest thing. And the way that it had cut it wasn't bleeding. Wow. It was but you could see everything. Like, you're like, whoa, okay. God. So that was a neat little anatomy project. Wow. But anyway, so it was just funny. Like, my coping mechanism, I was fearful for what was happening to him, but I knew I had to do something. For the other person who was like flipping the heck out, it was because he felt out of control, because he didn't know how to help that situation. So I think that's where it came into play. But it was like totally our coping mechanisms. And my son will laugh every time now, and he goes, wow, Mom, you were like as cool as a cute, I would have expected you to be like, the other person. It flipped. He thought that situation would have been flipped, but it wasn't, because I was like, no, this is what we got to do, ABC, and now we're driving you to the ER, and that, I knew that there was a solution, and because I was in medical, because I had some basis of information on what to do, I think that's it, So Heather's laughing at my wouldn't hear story. So anyway, that's the thing is I think your fear is based on things that you know or you don't know. Okay. Right. Yeah. So the other person was fearful and freaking out because they didn't have a clue what they should do. Me, because I was in medical, knew what to do. And so the fear level was, I was concerned about my son, of course, and, consoling him, but, I was even more fearful with the big needle. Ooh, when we got to the ER, that was the part that I was like, whoa, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because, but I think that's what it is. Your level of knowledge in a situation helps to have the fear up or down. And then, just really knowing where you're drawing from, what, to cope with it. I just, anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
My 2 cents.
I like it. Yeah. I think
so.
Confidence is when you get past your fear in any situation, like you had instantly, or when you are fearful for a long time, you get past it, and the confidence that it brings, and the growth and the learning. I would dare say that we don't ever grow unless we grow through some sort of fearful situation or event, or a lot of times it's internally.
Yeah. I saw somebody said, pull out the needle and thread. No, I wasn't. I knew a lot about medical, but I wasn't about to be doing that.
Triage.
Give me I should have got the staple gun then, right? Oh, ow.
Yeah. Or the super glue.
Oh.
Maybe not.
Yeah, they have medical glue.
Oh, that's true.
They have medical glue.
Yeah.
I could have done that, but it was so deep. He had to, the way that he had to stitch it was different.
That's just weird. That didn't bleed. That I don't get that part.
It didn't hit any veins.
Yeah.
Hit no veins. It was the weirdest thing ever. So, yeah, the fear is always more terrifying than the actual. I agree.
Yeah, when you learn that lesson, or when you figure that out, and it's another really hard human lesson to learn. That really the fear is usually worse than the actual event. You're afraid of it. Boy, I lived a lot of my life that way, and I look back now and I think, oh my God, that the events that actually happened were nowhere near what I was fearful of. I used to even think that what I would do, let me ask you if anybody's done this before. I used to think that if I would run through in my mind like the worst case scenario, that it would be better for me. And some people have said that that's a good idea, but I don't think it is, because what that did for me was I sat there and ruminated on all of the negative, bad things that could happen. And somewhere I heard that figure out the worst case scenario. And sometimes that case isn't bad if you can back up from it and say, well, what's the worst that could happen? And to understand that it's probably never going to be that way. Well, if you use it that way. But I didn't. Well, I used to sit there and run through all the negative stuff in my head thinking, well, I'll be prepared for all the negative things that are going to happen. And it just, what it did is just took me down deeper and deeper and deeper into the stress level.
Yeah.
So Heather says, Dr. Phil, my man, he says that's
the way the way to handle it. Is what way
to do worst case scenario? Well, and I think that because I've heard that a lot before. It's like if you can rationalize and say, well, what's the worst that can happen? Usually you can rationalize in your brain. Well, I can live with that. I get that part. I guess what I was doing was I was constantly I wasn't evaluating that fear and saying, well, here's the worst that can happen. I was just literally always thinking of the worst thing. I was never saying if that I could deal with it or whatever. In fact, I kept saying, I don't know how to deal with this. And it just was going down the hole. I never was coming back up. So it was scary. Hey, Paul, how you doing? What's Paul says? I have a little bit of fear. The pain is worse for me, I guess, that I'm foolhardy. Foolhardy? Yeah. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Pain and fear. I also have a lot of stories about pain and fear. And I had chronic pain for 10 or so years that really changed my brain. I was telling Sandy about this the other day, is that when you live with chronic pain, you wake up in the morning and your day is planned on how not to be in pain. It's just the worst way to live life. And I know that some of you on here, might still be living in that. And when you're preparing for pain all day long, it zaps your confidence. It zaps, so it's almost like you're in fear almost all day long. You're in fear of adding pain to your life. And boy, does that heap on the stress monster and lower your immune system and all that. So
wow. So Paul says the pain is worse for him. But do you have a solution for the pain? Is the question. Is that foolhardy? I mean, I think feeling the pain, like I think I'm like that, Paul. I think I'm more like that. I think when you're an optimist about things, you're like, oh yeah, it could be fearful, but I'm just gonna plow through it. You plow through it, and then you get the pain, right? And I think it's just how your coping mechanism works with the pain then, I mean, there's some pains that you can't stay away from. There's some pain that you're going to have. I mean, there's nothing that you can't do anything about it, like a loss of a loved one or something like that. That's something that you can't prevent, you can't control. So that's definitely something that you have to use your coping mechanisms for, because that's not really a fear anymore. That's an actual feeling of pain.
But I would say positive coping mechanisms, because usually the easiest thing to do is to mask that to numb the feelings, to escape the feelings with all the numbing coping.
Right, and that's when it turns to and I think that sometimes our pain, I mean, it's a grief, so that's where grief counseling comes into play. Really letting yourself go through the phases of the grief process, because that is important. Because I think if you miss one of those steps, that's why it continues. I think you really need to, go through every single step of the grief process, and we all do the, the shock value, then to the pain of it, then to, the anger. There's all those different things.
Denial.
Denial is like huge. When my mom died, I had a bag of her clothes that I brought back, and I let it sit at the end of my bed for, months. And I didn't realize that was me not dealing. I look at it specifically now and label that was me not dealing with my feelings. That was me not dealing with the loss. That was me telling myself, okay, you'll be fine. Just get over it, kind of thing. I kind of went through it. And so, I can see it clearly now. And once I decided to do something with that bag of clothes is when I dealt with it.
Right.
And when I actually got through it. And I think that there's no time limit. I think that's the other thing, is other people expect you to be somewhere along in that process, and that's unrealistic because everybody's different. Don't ever put somebody else's grief process to your own timetable, or even to your own. Like me, like I said, I just wasn't dealing with it, so I thought I should be over this by now.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes a loss like that, you're not over ever. So I just had to go through that and deal with it.
So Kim brought up an interesting point. It says, I think a lot of folks see the answer to their pain, but grabbing the answer is sometimes tough. So you just led me into my favorite topic, which is the hero's journey. And so that's a classic theme for humans, is that we refuse to call. So I always break everything down into the hero's journey. And so the call to adventure is really the call to get over something or to move past the fear, is what it really is. But we're all afraid. And so even though we may know the answer, so we may feel the answer, and then there's time we know the answer, but we're still too afraid, so we refuse to call. And at some point, that's the key to life and in the hero's journey, the key to it is to get the courage to move past the fear. And that's when we step into the unknown world, because moving past the fear, we're not sure what's on the other side of that, which is why it's so scary.
Right.
But that's where the learning and finding the treasure is, on the other side somewhere. And eventually you're going to find the courage to do it, but also you're going to find mentors, which is stage 4 of the hero's journey, to find a great mentor, somebody who's going to help you through. It's a counselor or a spiritual helper, religious helper, friend, family member, that's going to give you some skills, some information, some courage to finally cross past your fear there. And that's the key to life.
It is. I agree. And wow, we got really serious today.
So Kim just was
much for the goofy. We're kind of serious today.
Kim that was reading my book. She just started it. So yeah, it's the first part of my book is all about the hero's journey, but it's a personal journey that I took and that I relate to all humans that have to go through this journey. And it's a interesting way the book all started from my fear and suffering. And as I was trying to figure out why I was suffering, that's how the book came about. And my coping mechanism was to figure out the fear, figure out why, and then to figure out some ways to move past it. And that's how the book actually started.
It's awesome. It's a great resource. I'm going to use it for my clients.
Nice. That
resource. So Mark says, is the greater pain physical, mental, or spiritual? Mark, I think it can be all three. Sometimes, and I think they're all intertwined. I don't think that sometimes they're not separate, and that's just my opinion. And but the grieving, sometimes we don't realize that we're in a grief process, right? Sometimes, like right now, like I can say right now with the pandemic stuff and things that our lives changed abruptly, and I think that some of us went into the grief process right away. Our whole bodies, everything just went into grief, right? We've all been joking about we're all putting on weight, right? We're all getting fat, because we're like, whatever, because we're in a grief process.
Yeah.
And we're grieving. And I think that's something that we haven't talked about. Wow.
Yeah, it's funny.
We haven't talked about this is a grief process. And the problem is because of us not knowing, now that we have kind of an end date on some things, I think we're going to be like pulling back, but we're still going to be grieving things through this. So I think if you all would really look into what that is, if you're struggling right now, maybe really looking at it as a grief process. Because denial, like you said, there's denial. Then there's the suffering piece, the pain piece. Then there's the anger. Some of us get anger when we're grieving. So I think we went through all those processes, and I think and the thing is that cycle continues. It goes over. You don't just end that process, and I think that's what we're kind of in right now. I think though, if we start to transition into there's a light at the end, which there is. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm an optimist, so I can say that. So Scott, for you, the end of the tunnel, what does that mean to you? What is it that you have to have for you to know that we're almost at the end of the tunnel?
Well, are you talking about this pandemic or just philosophically?
Philosophically.
Oh, well, so through the hero's journey, our goal is to find the treasure, and that can be a lot of different things. It can be just getting past the fear, but it's usually, to get past the suffering or over the death of somebody, or to find a new job, find a new relationship. So whatever that treasure that you're seeking in life is. So as you pass through the fear and you find the treasure, whatever that may be, then you head home to the return. Excuse me. And the return is where you assimilate that into your life. So now that you have the treasure and you've learned the lesson of whatever has happened, now you've got to assimilate that into your life and you have to return. But on the way back, the universe is going to test you one more time. So just when you think you've figured it out and you've gotten past your fear, you're going to get tested one more time, one or two more times, to make sure you really learned the lesson. And at that point, then you assimilate it into your life and then you start the next journey. So that's how I use it in the hero's journey. It's about the assimilation is to put it to use. How can I effectively do this? And typically, if you've gone through any serious struggle in life, which most of us have, and you've learned the lesson and you've come back to the return, it's about now teaching that or talking about it and becoming a mentor to everybody else and to the next generation, if you will, or whatever, because you've been through it. You've been through it, and so. And becoming a mentor in any respect, either if you just tell a few people your story or whatever, is very rewarding. It's actually as good as the reward itself, becoming the mentor.
Right.
So
we have some comments going on here. So Mark says bargaining, which since I'm a little behind, I'm not sure which part he's talking about at this point, but Jeff is talking about physical pain eventually stops, but mental and spiritual will linger. That's true. And if you don't get that in check, guess what? The physical pain might come back, right?
Well, and for me, actually, it's interesting. The physical pain, so the mental pain for me went away after a long, long time, the suffering. As my spirituality grew, my physical pain actually stayed, not to the degree, but I live my life now knowing when my body's going to be stressed out and the physical pain will come, because I still suffer from that if I get too stressed out, or if I let things bother me too much, or if I let my body go and I'm not exercising, the physical pain will come back. So for me, it's just been a learning experience.
Yeah. Well, mental and spiritual. So I like to think that of those things all interconnected. So mind, body, spirit. So for me, in fact, I was just talking to Scott the other day about this simmer thing. I have this simmer thing where, and it's one of those pieces is always kind of simmering. I call it simmering, meaning, if there's something stressful, it's kind of simmering under, whether it be physical, mental, or spiritual. And it just depends on what's going on. And I have to keep that in check, and that's why it's important, like he said, to have a mentor, to have some guidance, to have a plan, know who you are and your coping mechanisms. I mean, knowing, personally who how you cope with things is huge. If you don't even know that piece, that's what I find having the mentor, life coach, counselor is helpful, because you're really going to have to check in with that. Because if you don't know yourself, you're not going to, everything's just going to come at you.
You'll suffer.
You're never going to be, prepared unless you have a plan. And not always, and you have to have A, B, C, D, E plans. When I say that, I don't mean you have to have a plan and stick to it, because that doesn't always work. You have to be flexible with your plans, even with yourself. You have to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself peace. You have to know, how to have peace in the midst of all that. I really have enjoyed in the last year really understanding meditation, because in my my religious box, I always thought meditation was bad. And I don't know why, but meditation is really prayer. Meditation is just calming exercises, and depending on where you're getting your meditation material, etc. So meditation is good. Meditation actually helps you to get peaceful. So yeah, Larry, we are deep today. Here we thought we were going to be goofy. I don't know what happened. Not sure.
Let's transition with this one new little area. I think we've done this before, but
ooh, he's got the little noise too. Yay!
So what are we grateful for today? Let's
what are you grateful for?
Everybody chime in. What are you grateful for today?
Today you have a blessed day. Bye, Mark. Bye, Kim. Peoples are leaving. So I like what Heather said about the meditation thing, because I was kind of tricked about that myself. So there's nothing wrong with getting a centered peace. There's nothing wrong with that. Hello.
And Buddha was a good
it's
dude.
Needed.
Buddha
it's
was
needed.
a good dude. But
okay, grateful. What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for my children. They bring me so much joy.
That's good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
How about you?
So you stole my answer, so I can't say the same thing now.
Oh, sorry. Well, you'll have to think about it. Come on, people, chime in. What you grateful for today? Heather, grateful for life in general. It's pretty freaking awesome. Nice.
Pretty freaking awesome.
Freaking awesome. I love it.
Yeah. I am grateful for, oh gosh, all my relationships, really. I mean, to be honest, I'm grateful for my new business adventure and those relationships. I'm grateful for lots of things. Wow. Yeah. I could say everything, but that sounds really Pollyanna, but I am. I'm not, I'm even grateful for the bad things. Does that make sense?
Well, it does if you understand that you can't get to the good without the contrast of the bad. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. I'm so glad you're grateful for Scott.
Yeah, we got it going on now.
Oh, thanks. I'm just a side note. It's okay.
Yeah, we all know what the real truth is, guys. But it's all right. I'll take a little bit of it.
This is you made him happy. So, Heather, you're right. You're right. Larry said he's grateful for another day to be awesome and help others. Thank you, Larry, for helping others. That's awesome. And that's what I'd like to do, something bigger than what I've been doing. I think I talked about Purposely. There's an app now that you can help others. I've been on the Nextdoor app, and we have this Olathe Pay It Forward little thing where people give stuff. I got 2 masks this last weekend from this wonderful couple who sewed them, because the ones I sewed I gave away. and then my sewing machine. But anyway, let's see. She's grateful for what she's learning about myself through all my relationships. Right.
Tammy.
Exactly. I'm with you, Heather. That's what I mean. Or Tammy.
Tammy.
Oops, sorry. Heather, Tammy. I saw Heather's face in your profile picture. It just said Heather. So hi, Tammy. So yeah, I am. I'm grateful for figuring shit out.
I say, Tammy, I always say that relationships are like PhDs in learning. Every relationship I've gone through and breakup and learning has been a PhD in life.
Yeah.
There's nothing that teaches us lessons more than relationships. That is faux show.
That's true. So Jess says, I'm grateful for just having another day to be alive. That's awesome. Yep. Heather and Tammy are the same person. Oh yeah, that's right. They can like sing the same songs, like in unison. It's kind of cute.
What's your uniperson name? I want to just say one name and mean both of them.
Uniperson. Men do that. That's funny.
We do what?
That's a man thing.
What?
That whole uniperson.
I just made that word up. So what are you talking about?
No, I've heard that before.
I just made it up. No way.
You're a guy.
What's a uniperson? I don't even know what it is. It's just, I don't
know.
It's two people that you're referring to as one, and that's one I want. Tamither. Love it.
Okay, that's what we're calling you from now on.
Tamther.
That's it. Tamther. Yes, pain and good at the same time. Yeah. You learn a lot about yourself through the pain.
Yeah.
Even when you're the pain in the ass.
Not me. I was never the pain in the ass.
I'm talking about me. Personally.
I was never the pain in the ass. No, of course I was.
I'm totally a pain in the ass.
It's always 50-50.
Yeah. And I've been cussing. Ooh. I don't usually cuss.
You were cussing.
I was cussing. Like Shamey on the Big Bang Therapy. I've watched that show, but I don't know the character, so I'm sorry.
I'm not a Big Bang.
Shamey must be two of them. Okay, I see. That sounds stupid. Got to work on that, huh? What? Oh, I see. Next Door is How I Met Larry. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
The Nextdoor app. He gave me free tickets to the home show last year.
Oh, cool.
And then he gave me tickets this year. And that was very sweet. We are hammy.
Hammy.
Yeah,
That's even better. No, I like that. Hammy.
No, that reminds me of ham. And neither one of you are like ham.
I like ham too. Hammy, that works.
But you're sweeter than ham.
Sweeter than ham? What about honey glazed ham? Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Way off the cliff.
Look, I got some news to show. This is.
He's got news. I know. We've only got a couple minutes.
Oh my goodness, really. This is an interesting article. We were talking about what are we going to do as we get out, and experts. I like that. Who knows who the experts are here? I'm not sure. But experts.
Are there experts in this pandemic?
Yeah, really.
I don't think so.
I think you're right. So people are going to approach it with caution, and so there are a couple little quotes here I put in red here. So 41 Action News says experts, while they can't generalize their response among all consumers, they're expecting many to use the wait and see approach. And I think that we've talked about that. We're going to kind of wait and see. So let's see, this guy, who is this guy? He's a professor, I guess, at UMKC, and he says that most people will be watching to see if COVID-19 cases spike soon after the stay-at-home order is lifted. Younger consumers are more likely to get out, while others will stay at home, erring on the side of caution. So that's the interesting thing. There has been some speculation that it may spike again, and the question is how is our government going to handle this? How are they going to shut us down again? I don't know. The Screenland Armour Theater says they're not going to open up at first because basically new movies won't be released until late July. So that's interesting. So they're not going to open up. So nothing new is coming out. So your Tom Cruise might be a little no.
Oh no. I have to see Top Gun 2. Are they kidding me? I will kill them.
You better find out. That may not happen.
Dang it.
And then this is
Top
interesting.
Gun 2.
So restaurants are saying, this restaurant lady was saying that at first she's not going to allow people in the store at all. They're going to continue to do curbside. Many businesses and consumers are uncertain about life after the mandates are lifted. Experts believe the recovery process will be slow. So I think that's kind of our general thought. And when we talked about it here was that we're all going to take it pretty slow at first, and we'll see.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think I'm ready to go rushing out. You know, I had to go to Target this last weekend, and that was kind of, it was funny. It is just so funny. You're like, oh, that person's way too close to me. Oh my God, you know. and you know, I think that we are going to have a couple more outbreaks. I don't. This is not over. I mean, I don't think it's over either. Heather said she had talked to a nurse last night, you know, the predictions, we don't know. I mean, this is where we get to the I don't know part.
So Heather says that the nurse said that they predict that they're going to spike and overload the hospitals. That's really interesting. I think
they predicted that too early on, and it didn't happen. So
it didn't happen here. I mean, the thing is, we got lucky here in the Midwest because we never got that spike that overloaded us like New York and like Italy.
No, we never did.
And so in a way we were lucky. I would hope, Heather, that and it's interesting that a nurse is saying that. I mean, I guess they need to be prepared for it, but. I would think that it will spike again, and that's probably pretty normal, and they're prepared for that. But hopefully it won't overload, because that's the whole thing about flattening the curve. When you flatten the curve, you actually prolong the sickness, but you keep the hospital system from being overloaded. I saw a really interesting documentary the other day and was comparing this back to the 1918 flu. And St. Louis, they compared St. Louis and Philadelphia. St. Louis shut everything down fairly quickly in 1918, and their curve was flattened, and it was but it was prolonged. Whereas Philadelphia didn't shut down; their spike went way, way up, and a lot of people died. But their overall sickness was shorter, but they of course lost a lot more people. And in fact, St. Louis, as they opened things up again, they saw the spike and then they shut it down again, and then it prolonged it, but it kept it low and it didn't overflow the hospital systems. So that's that in the next month or two. That's going to be the critical time. Is what's going to happen? How far is it going to spike? Are they going to shut us down again? And how we deal with it. So it's going to be very interesting.
Right. Well, here's my thought. I mean, it's kind of funny. The things that I've been doing during the pandemic was kind of the same things I was doing before the pandemic. I was really using the park as a good place to go run and exercise and get outside. So it seems like I'm like, but I was already doing that. I was already going to the parks. I was already, that was already my thing. So, I mean, that was good. I mean, all the other stuff has never been my thing. Like, I'm not a movie theater goer, not really. I was only going to go that one time to Top Gun 2. Like, I mean, I had that planned. Because I don't really ever see new releases of movies. I saw Star Wars at Christmas. So, I mean, that's as frequently as I went,
Yeah, but
once every 6 months.
I happen to know that you and Hammy liked to frequent a place that had quite a few people dancing in very close proximity. And so I would say you three.
Well, maybe that place.
You three. That's something that
maybe
you're going to miss.
Place.
Yeah, that place.
But
you're going to miss that a little bit, but we're going to have to just do that outside. We're going to do it in Heather's backyard. Heather, you got to crank the.
No, they just got to do it out in their parking lot. They used to do it.
Okay.
That's what I say.
I agree.
I say they should have a big parking lot party.
I agree.
And socially distanced. That's what I say.
Well, and I hope they start doing that for sure, especially the music stuff, because I do miss going out to see music and concerts and stuff, and and I do miss.
I think
movies.
it's a new thing. In fact, tonight Butch Carson is at Fireside.
Oh yeah,
he's doing a redo from Sunday.
Yeah, Fireside is fun. Oh, they finally opened up. Well, that's interesting because I know they had a gas leak, I think.
Yeah, that was scary. So yeah, we have a pet. He makes a great dance floor. See, that's what we're just gonna hang out at Heather's bar, whatever that's gonna be called.
Let's just call it the Hammy Bar. I'm hung up on that hammy thing. I think that's good. I like it.
I'll stand outside with the cooler. I'll sell beers.
Okay.
Or wine. Actually, I'll sell wine.
There you go. Sell some wine.
My wine.
My wine.
My Scout and Cellar wine.
Good organic.
Have to make a plug.
Organic, low sugar wine.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
Yep. Good stuff. So, all right.
See you later, Larry.
So, I know we've been just yapping. All right, you guys. I think that we are going to cut out of here in a second. The Hammy Bar.
Hammy Bar.
Funny. So, all right. You guys have a great day.
We got 5 minutes. Don't you dare cut us short. We got 5 minutes.
Hey, look who's trying to cut us short.
I got hammered last week. Like, don't you dare.
Did.
Don't you shut this off.
You can play music.
Yeah.
Good music.
What's
dancey music?
Dancey music. Okay. What
Dancey music.
Okay.
So you guys have a great day. Whoever's going. Oh, we did. We went into some serious zone today. So join us tomorrow night. We are talking about. We have a guest speaker tomorrow night. It's exciting.
Yeah, join us tomorrow. That'll be fun on our evening sessions.
We have a guest speaker.
We have a school teacher who's going to come on and talk about how teachers are dealing with this, how parents are dealing with it, how kids are dealing with this new online learning. I think it's going to be fascinating. So yeah.
Yeah. So join us tomorrow night, and I think you guys have a wonderful, beautiful. I don't know if it's going to be a beautiful day. I don't think it is, but
I think
it will be because you're in it.
Yes.
Ooh, that's good,
How about
right?
this song? Let's do. Oh wait, no, that's this. This is I'm into Lost Lonely Boys. I know.
It's echoes.
I didn't want this one. Oh, I wanted this one. Okay. Yeah. Boogie Woogie. This
Yep,
is little
put on your boogie shoes.
Casey Sunshine.
Mugs up.
Mugs up. Have a great
Have a good day.
week. Hope to see you guys tomorrow evening.
Love you guys.
And again Friday. And we'll rock and roll. Bye.